Panel, each of you have friends and contacts throughout our vast community. What are you hearing out there? I'm going to start with Charles Blaine.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we started this show talking about the protests, and I think that's what I'm hearing is that we're going to see more of those, and not necessarily because of police violence, but because civil unrest is often sparked by expensive housing and no jobs and poverty and other things like that. And we're seeing a lot of that because of what we saw with these shutdowns. So my executive director at Urban Reform Institute, Joel Kotkin, and I have an article out right now that just came out yesterday. We wrote it 3 weeks ago that talked about how this summer we might see these cities kind of boiling over because of frustration, economic despair, and frustration from that. And so I think we're going to see that. You hear a lot of people frustrated out there because the prospects are just slim. There's really nothing to look forward to at this point.
Bill King, what does 20% unemployment in Houston, Texas look like? I mean, we've never seen it before, not in our lifetime.
No, I remember back in the 80s when things got pretty bad here, but we never got anywhere close to 20% unemployment. I mean, Houston's really in the middle of a perfect storm right now. You've got all the problems with the COVID and what the lockdown did on that. And that, frankly, will go away over time. That's probably a one-year event. But this problem with the energy industry, I think, is a much, much longer lasting problem for us, because the truth of the matter is people all over the world are trying to figure out ways to burn fewer fossil fuels. A lot of smart people are working on that problem. They're going to be around for a long time. Don't misunderstand me. And we're going to have a role in providing that source of energy. But that marketplace seems to be headed down to me. And I just think in the long term, we better figure out something else to do besides go find oil and gas.
That's right.
Tomorrow, what are you hearing out in the neighborhoods?
In the neighborhoods, the main thing that people are concerned about is the evictions. That moratorium is gone. That's over. And those cases are about to start being heard. They're going to start. They were behind, so they're going to start with February. But that is a game changer. I said it on the show last week. I'm telling you all, that problem right there, if it gets to play out the way it's set up to play out, this is going to be a city that none of us have ever seen. As Bill said, in the 80s, Bill was working and established with a family. I was in college. I saw it. I didn't see it the way he saw it, but I ended up having to completely change in my senior year, my major, because my professors told us, you won't get a job for the next 2 years if you come out with this degree in chemical engineering. And one of the things that I want people to make sure is that we got to do something to prepare, because the instability with the COVID and the oil is going to have such a heavy impact. Institutions that we might have thought were on the wayside are going to be the ones that we're going to have to lean on. For example, your kid might have been going to Howard, Hampton, or Harvard, but now you don't have your engineering job at Exxon, Chevron, or Schlumberger. So now HCC may be the only place your kid can go. And let me tell you, I hate to agree with Wayne, but one of the things he talked about is what's not being said in our local television, the alleged corruption and mismanagement that's going on HCC. When we're going to need HCC harder than we've ever needed before, and nobody is talking about it.
Wayne, I know you reported in Houston in the 80s. You reported on the fall of Enron. You were here in 2008. I mean, what do you think is happening in this city, and are you afraid?
So I'm going to take oil out because Bill talked about it. I argued we should have never shut down this city. The people that are most going to be hurt are, quite frankly, not guys like me. And I'm not bragging. My company had the best month ever last month, okay? It's going to be the lower income, is going to be blue-collar workers. It's going to be the minority community. They are going to be hit the hardest by decisions made by the people they support politically, Lena Hidalgo and Sylvester Turner. Those decisions to shut down this economy because of a virus that sure was horrible, but should never have shut down the economy. They're the ones to blame for this. I'm sorry, they are.
Carmen Rowe, your social circles and professional circles, what are you hearing out there?
I'm not from a generation that has such historical knowledge, but most of the people in my community are living on government money, stimulus money. Unemployment apparently is paying better than some jobs right now. And my fear is that we're going to run out of that money, and where do we end up? I will say, though, that I don't think the sky is falling. Houston is an industrial city. We're resilient. We're going to have to adapt to the change, and I hope everybody does just that. Right now, we're working together. We have to continue to do that. I know the evictions are coming up, but I'll also tell you that the judges who make the decisions about how those evictions are dealt with are people who live in this community, who hopefully watch this show and know how bad this community is hurting. And so working together going forward is going to be everything for Houston, just like it was last night.